Are you tired of being the punching bag of the devil? And are you ready to see the glory of the Lord revealed through you? Then this is for you. I welcome you to join me. Hello, my name is Vivian Eberechuku, and I would like to welcome you to hear what the Lord has done. Now, this wouldn't be a testimony of what the Lord has done if I do not give you a background. You see, many years ago, I got the opportunity to move out of my country to go and study in the United Kingdom. I was very excited to leave, especially coming from a country that could benefit from some of the things that are available in the other countries. I was excited to leave. I was excited to travel and make a life for myself there, to be planted. I had ideas of what I wanted for my life. I had ideas of what I had big dreams. So I left my country excited that I was going to be successful like others that has gone. And we hear their stories of how they are doing this and that. But that was not the case for me. I struggled a lot. I struggled to remain. I struggled. It wasn't supposed to be like this. It wasn't supposed to be this hard. Were those people lying where they said, you would find great success here? But that just wasn't for me. My only option was to come back to my country. Empty. You know, this reminds me of the scripture in the book of Ruth, where Naomi, when she had to leave Moab, where she and her husband had to go, when there was famine in Canaan, they went to Moab. She was there for a while, had her kids, until she lost everything. Her husband died, her 2 sons died. Her only option was to return back to Canaan, or Bethlehem, I believe. So when the women came to her, saying, is that Naomi? She said, no, don't call me Naomi. Call me Mara. Because I left full, only to return empty. That was me. And that put me in a place of shame. That put me in a place of anger. Because I didn't understand what was going on in my life. I looked around me and I could see people had moved on. I didn't understand what was going on. So that left me angry. That left me bitter. Coming back to my country wasn't easy at all. Because as I came back, I had to face reality. Reality that you failed. People don't say it. Some people might outrightly say it in front of your face, but that was what was being spoken. People didn't need to say it for you to feel it. I felt like a failure. I felt like the Lord had forsaken me. I felt like a waste. But I didn't know What's going on? Why have you abandoned me? And the worst part of it was I had to move back into my parents' house in my 30s. As a single woman, that's usually what some people do, unless you've gone off to work somewhere different from where they live here. So I wasn't the only one ashamed now. That shame came to my parents as well. Because then people are looking at your daughter that has traveled in the hopes of getting something good for her life, being established. But she has come back empty. I didn't leave full. I left excited, I left with hopes. But I came back empty. What I didn't know was that the Lord was doing something in me. What I didn't know was God had things He was doing that I couldn't see. What I didn't know was that it was all in His plan for my life. So I fought Him. I resisted. Until I came to that understanding that maybe someone bigger than me is at play here. And yes, He was at play here. When I realized what the Lord was doing, when I sat still, because He just needed me to be still. Because in stillness is when you come to understand that there is something bigger going on. There is something you cannot see that is going on. And in my stillness, which was only by His grace, because I kept moving. I kept moving. I kept trying to do different things, but none of them was working. Until I sat still. Okay, what are you doing? What is going on? Then He began to show me that there is something He's doing. If only I allow Him. I didn't understand, so that would mean many, many years of delay. When I understood, I aligned to what He was doing. And that was now a part of it. As I became a part of what the Lord was doing, He began to show me things that I could never understand were going on in my life. And how I needed to walk with Him to give me a good foundation, one that I could stand on, that wouldn't shake, so that nothing could ever stand in my way again. Sometimes what we go through is bigger than what we know. What you are going through right now could just be bigger than what you know. I want you to understand that it could be bigger, and if it is bigger than you, then you have to lay it down. Surrender it. I felt all those. I felt shame, I felt like a failure, but I never confessed it. Until one day, I was in my room crying, praying, What is going on? I didn't know when that came out of me. Lord, I feel like I am such a failure. The moment that came out of me, I felt the release. That now I understand. You have to understand what is coming against you. I felt that release because I understood. And I cried some more. But then I gave it to him. Only you can bring me out of this, Lord. Only you can deliver me. I didn't know about these things. I didn't know that there were forces bigger than me. But now I understand. I give it to you. You see, shame is a spirit. If you allow it, if you give it room, it will ruin your life. The only spirit that is greater than all other spirits is the Spirit of God. So I surrendered to him. I gave it all to him. Because what you give God, he will feel. If you decide to baby shame, then you will be in shame. It will ruin your life. I laid it down. I surrendered it to him. And I understood that the Lord was doing something. He reminded me that I'm going through a process. And in this process, surrendering everything, he revealed to me there is a lot. He has delivered me from so much, but this is a testimony of how he brought me out of shame. He has delivered me from so much. And every single one of them, he gave me an opportunity to give it back to him. Because they were bigger than me. Shame was bigger than me. Fear was bigger than me. Anger was bigger than me. And these are one of the things I dealt with. But I'm not talking about those now. I'm talking more about shame. I couldn't even leave my house. I couldn't face people. I became isolated. I isolated myself from people. I gave them all to the Lord. I surrendered it all to him. And he began to work in me. Coming on YouTube was one of the hardest thing I ever had to do. But I didn't come on my own. He led me here. I resisted. I fought. He gave me this a while ago, but I refused to do it. I kept trying to hide. I kept trying to hide. But he said, no, this is the only way, daughter. You have to come out. I said, okay, Father, I am coming out. I am with you. I will no longer be held in captivity by the devil. I will no longer allow my life to be led by forces that are not even bigger than I am, because I know who I am. I am a daughter of the living God. I will not give room to shame. I will not give room to the devil or his little devils. I decided to take my life back. And the moment I did, I began to see the changes. I began to see the changes. I began to see the changes. The Lord is still perfecting me. But he has done so much because I allowed him to work on me. I am here to encourage somebody going through whatever it is you're going through. Do not allow it to determine your life. Do not allow it Do not allow the devil to speak to you about where you are going. He has no right to speak over your life. It's okay to feel ashamed, but don't allow it to become who you are. Come out of it. Give it to God. That is how you can come out of it. Recognize what you are struggling with and give it to God. Father, I am struggling with this. And if I am struggling with it, then it is bigger than me. And if it is bigger than me, then I have to give it to the only one who is bigger than all things. I have to give it to the creator of all things. When you give God your insecurities, God will fill you with His Spirit in that area you are struggling with. But what you refuse to give Him will become a part of you. It will become a part of you. It's like, oh no, for instance, you're struggling with fear, with shame, and you refuse to acknowledge that that is a weakness in you. Then you have given that spirit the right to remain. Because the moment you shine the light on it, it has no more place to hide. It has to get out. And it will get out. Remind yourself that you are not your weakness. Remind yourself that you are not what you feel insecure about. Remind yourself that the one who made you has great plans for you, and you believe it. It's one thing to remind yourself that, it's another to believe it. One of my favorite scriptures is Luke 1:45, and it says, "Blessed is she who has believed, for there will be a fulfillment of what the Lord has spoken over her." There will be a fulfillment of all the Lord has spoken over you. Every single word of prophecy over you must be made manifest. That is my assurance over you. That is because I have seen the Lord's goodness. I would not stand here to speak when I haven't any right to do so. I have seen His faithfulness. I have seen His goodness. I have seen His faithfulness. I have seen His faithfulness. I have seen His goodness. And from me to you is that the Lord would do you well. The Lord would do you good. The Lord will not allow you to be put to shame. You are not who your situation or circumstance is. The Lord will not allow you to be put to shame. I didn't know I was going to speak about this today, but this is what He put in my spirit to speak about. So I am here to share this. As He reminded me today of how far He has brought me. And I am here to speak about it. He has brought me far. And this is just the beginning. This is why I said this is the journey. And I invited you to share on it, my journey, in the hopes that my experiences, what I have been through, could save somebody from going through the many years of delay that I went through because I didn't understand what the Lord was doing in my life. Understanding brings you out of delay. It also says in the scriptures, my people perish because they are ignorant. The enemy uses your ignorance to cope. The enemy uses your ignorance to hold you in bondage, in captivity. And today I hope this message brings you some kind of deliverance and truth. You will see the light of God. It is your time to shine. It is your time to shine. The Lord will do you good. Faithful is He that spoke. He that began a good work will perfect it. Be encouraged today. I hope this will inspire somebody to come out of whatever it is they are going through by knowing that they are not that. They are not their situation now. They are not their current situation. You are not your current circumstance. You are everything the Lord has spoken over you. You are everything He has spoken. You are everything you are trusting Him for. I would like to say thank you for listening if you have come this far. I know this is a little bit long, but I needed not only to speak of what the Lord has done, but also to speak to somebody who is going through or struggling with something today, so that they will be encouraged and know that God is still in control of all things. If this has been helpful to you, if you liked this content, then please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that I will be encouraged to make more videos like this. Until the next one, God bless you.